Make sure to load the brush with a thick amount of paint, just like that.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm John Correa, and in today's video, we're now in third week of our June Sunset series at the intermediate level. Last week's painting was so much fun, and I hope you tried that one. That glowing river reflection. This time, we're keeping that same sunset vibe, but switching things up with a different subject. We got the same vibrant colors in the sky and clouds, rustic wooden fence, and some scattered flowers in the foreground. And if you want to follow along with the full extended version, you can find all that on my Patreon. And by the way, I'm using my Correa Art custom brushes for this one. They really help with all the soft blending and tiny details. All the links down below. So yeah, please do subscribe and like the video. Let's dive in.
So let's lay down the acrylics, starting with primary blue, deep green permanent, primary red, cadmium yellow medium U, titanium white, and black. Alright, so let's grab our number 6 flat brush. Let's wet the brush a bit, just a little bit. Then let's have this lightest yellow. And we're gonna start right here, just above the horizon line. Just like that. I'm using these soft horizontal strokes, back and forth. Nothing too hard, just light pressure. Let's blend in some of this pinkish tone with some white to soften it up right at the very bottom of the sky. So also add in a bit of this light yellow to soften it up even more. Let the colors melt into each other slowly. Now let's grab some of this orange and a bit of pink. We're gonna start painting the clouds. These are the farther clouds, so we want them to sit closer to the horizon. Let's wet the brush a bit, not too much. Just a little water to help the paint glide more smoothly. There you go. It makes a big difference, especially when you're doing soft strokes like this. Plus it helps prevent the paint from cracking or skipping as you go. Since this cloud is farther back, we want this to stay thin and subtle. No need to overwork it. And yeah, sometimes when I pre-mix paints, I still end up adjusting the shade as I go. Like here, I'm adding titanium white to the mix. It really depends on how it looks once it's on the canvas. So don't worry if your mix changes a little. You just trust your eyes and feel it out as you paint. That's all part of the process. And then without cleaning the brush, let's go ahead and add a bit of this magenta to the mix. And as we move upward, we're gradually making the clouds a little darker. No need to overmix. Again, if you feel like the paint is starting to crack or drag, just add a bit of water, just enough to loosen it up. So now in this area, we'll focus more on the magenta. And this part can have a bit more volume and movement, since it's meant to appear closer to the viewer's eye. We can make the cloud shapes here a little larger, but still keep that wispy, soft effect. Then with pure white, let's go ahead and paint in the sun. Right there. Let's go by thick paint here. And I'm actually skipping over that thin cloud in front of it, just to suggest that the cloud is sitting in front of the sun. Just like that. I'm just using light flicks here, almost like I'm dragging the side of the bristles along the edge, just enough to leave a trail of color. A soft glowy touch that makes it feel like the light is barely catching these cloud edges. Alright, so now let's move over to the foreground, and we will start by mixing the colors we need for the grass. Let's grab our number 6 flat brush and start with the lightest color. It should sit just below the mountains and stay nice and straight. I'm using soft horizontal strokes here and just being a bit careful along the horizon. We want this edge to stay clean and straight. Then let's grab this yellow green, and from here we will start darkening the tones as we move down the foreground. So just make sure not to push that light yellow green too far down. And yeah, no need for precise strokes here. We're just using the flat brush to block everything in. The goal right now is to cover the area and establish the values. We will refine everything later. Alright, so now let's grab our 00 small round brush and load it up with this light yellow we use in the sky. And we're gonna start highlighting this area. You can also add some of this light yellow green, and we're just gonna brush over it with some quick little flicks of highlight. Keep your strokes really small and tiny in this area. We want it to feel delicate, like little bits of light catching on the tips of grass or foliage. We definitely don't want everything looking too uniform. It's that randomness that brings the whole scene to life. Again, let's wet the brush if needed, especially for these blades of grass. A little bit of water really helps the paint glide smoothly. And now moving on with the mid greens and this cool green we mixed earlier. We're gonna start layering this into the shadow area of the grass. It's kind of like a highlight within the shadow, just to give it some variation and depth, but of course, it won't be as much bright as the ones hit directly by sunlight. So since these are the closest leaves and blades of grass, the strokes here should be a bit bolder and larger compared to the ones above. This helps bring them forward and really sells that sense of depth. Alright, so now let's switch to the number 0 angle brush and start painting these wooden fences. Let's load the brush with a generous amount of this dark brown. Then from here, position the bristles horizontally and gently pull it downward to create this piece of wood. You don't need to make it perfectly straight or clean. Wood has character, right? A little bit of wobble or unevenness actually makes it feel more natural and weathered. And let's paint the flowers in the foreground. Make sure to load the brush with a thick amount of paint, just like that. You want it to be rich and vibrant so it really pops against the background. Let's start right here. We're just gonna create a basic flower shape. No need to make it too complicated. Just think of it as placing a burst of color rather than painting every petal. Keep it light and fun. And now moving on to the small daisies. Let's start with this soft sky blue tone. Alright, so for this, we're not painting every individual petal. We're keeping it loose since they're really small in the scene. And I'm just doing a quick short flicks. No need to define every single petal. It's more about giving the impression of the flower rather than getting caught up in the details. You know, the key here is the gesture. Tiny strokes like little sparkles of color in the field. It keeps everything light, fresh, and painterly. And you know, honestly, this is the most fun and satisfying parts of this whole painting. Aside from the fact that we're almost done, these flowers really bring the whole scene to life. They add that final touch of detail and energy. And just look how they stand out against that dark shadow areas in the grass. It's such a nice contrast. They almost sparkle, giving that feeling of warmth and movement right at the finish. Little highlights like this really tie everything together.
But I was sleeping with the light on dim.
Alright, we're done. I really enjoy working on this one, and I hope you had fun too. Again, if you want to see the full process with every step along the way, it's all up on my Patreon. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.